Hi guys, so here is my tour of my apartment in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. I'll take you round, but here is an overall view. So yeah, a lot of apartments in Cambodia come fully furnished. You have the washing machine and fridge, and you'll have the choice of either, or not the choice, but you'll be given either gas hobs or electric. I would really recommend gas. I'll take you through to the bathroom area, which is a nice shower head. I think it's the waterfall style they call it. But yeah, everything that you could need. And finally, the bedroom. Again, not had time to clean, to tidy up. You've got a nice space here, have a mirror, and also some space here. And yeah, good balcony space, where I keep all of my shoes from the gym because they smell, and nice view of Phnom Penh.
We're heading over to Phnom Penh with my buddy Thomas Starkey. Thomas and I did a podcast, about almost 2 years ago, man. It's been a while. Good to see you, Thomas. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, I'm really good. New apartment, as you can see in the
I see,
background.
man. You're like living, you're living large over there, but you got the big screen. Wow.
I think I was in a 24-hour cafe last time we talked.
That's
So this is
right.
definitely
Hey,
a
man,
better environment.
that podcast is still out there for people that want to check it out. But yeah, we'll cover the same stuff a little bit more. But so what's going on? I mean, how are things going with you out there? You're from, just give people a little bit of backstory about where you're from and what you're up to, and we'll plug that. We'll plug the businesses that you got going.
Yeah, okay. So I'm from Manchester, England originally. Came over to Cambodia 2019, just before COVID. COVID happened. The reason why I came over was to work for an NGO, actually an ecotourism project in Kampong Cham, a rural area of Cambodia, and it was shut down within the month that I arrived because of COVID. Everyone went back home. I was like, I've just arrived. I don't want to go back home. And so moved to Phnom Penh on a whim and did a huge career pivot into the private sector, from working in NGOs for 10 years all around the world. Worked in Liberia, India, South Africa, Malaysia, to name a few. And yeah, then got into the journalism sector, which was kind of crazy. Worked for the Phnom Penh Post, which is in English, the Khmer Times, the biggest newspaper in Cambodia. And now, yeah, I have a freelance Marcom career. I help out with different summits, events. I do PR for companies regionally and in Cambodia. And now have two of my own projects. The first being CIR Recruitment, which hopefully you can put the link in the description below for us, please. So we help internationals find work in Cambodia. We do full orientation, relocation processes if needed, depending on where you're coming from, and telling people more about, how amazing it is to live and work in Cambodia. And sort of attached to that, we also are launching CambodiaLifestyle.com, which will be a, full news, reviews, guide to living and working and enjoying Cambodia and the best it has to offer, and answering many of the questions that I'm sure we'll cover today, but in more detail, and keep it up to date and produce content to put Cambodia on the map, really, in Asia.
Oh, that is fantastic. So CambodiaLifestyle.com is going to pretty much share everything you need to know about Cambodia. If you want to live there, if you're traveling there, visiting, you need to stay someplace, you're going to provide pretty much everything, it sounds like.
Yeah, everything from street food reviews to the cost of apartments, visas, how much a bus should cost you from A to B, best places to visit, anything Cambodia that you want to know. Hopefully we can have an answer for.
What a great idea, Thomas. Thanks. What a great idea. I love that idea. And I love the idea too, because so many people, I get so many questions about, can I get a job there? You know, talking to people all over the globe, they're like, if I move there, can I work there? That's always a concern. So
Mhm.
providing a resource for people to touch base with you to say, yeah, we could help find you work.
And they really link up as well, because you do get those questions, can I work there? But then
Yeah.
the second thing is, working somewhere is one thing, especially in today's remote working sort of world. You don't have to live a place necessarily that you work, but can I live there as well? Does it suit me? Does it culturally match, my personality and ambitions, and all of those things need to be answered, I think, just as much as can I work there. So we try to, I'm trying to cover all angles for people who who want to know more. And yeah, obviously I'm a huge fan of Cambodia. I've lived here 4 years, and that's through COVID as well, and it's been fantastic for me. It's helped me in my career and my own personal life, and I just, you want to share that when you have those positive experiences. So
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
idea behind it. Yeah.
Yeah, how's the language, when you move there? Are there a lot of people that speak English in Phnom Penh, or are you really developing the language and learning the language over there?
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
Khmer's, I mean, especially young Khmer. Cambodia has, I think it's off the top of my head, like 75% of the population is below the age 30. It's a really young country, and most
Hmm.
of those kids in their education will have learned English, to some degree, especially
Hmm.
in Phnom Penh, Siem Reap, the major cities, towns. If you go out into the province, it's a lot, there's a lot more Khmer spoken, but in the cities, cafes, restaurants, there will be some kind of basic level of English there. And then you can always, resort to the old point and sign, sign
Sure.
language and charades approach, to order a meal or something like that. But yeah, definitely recommend learning some basic Khmer, super easy. Just for, short sentences. I think the classic thing that everybody says is that you learn go straight, turn left, and turn right. Because the first day you arrive, because obviously you get in a tuk-tuk and you need to tell him where to go.
Sure.
So so yeah, things like that just get you through life. Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, the English is widely spoken in the expat community. It's mainly English, even though there's people from Malaysia, Chinese, lots of French here with its colonial past. English is the main. It's a language of travel and a language of business, so it's well spoken over here.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking at this. There's a device that you can buy now. I forget how much it is. They're not very expensive. And they translate everything in immediately. So somebody speaks something, it records, and then it says it in your language. So you
Wow,
could say something in English, and it would immediately translate it in Khmer,
wow.
instantly, so that the person there, you just have to hold the device up, and it's like this, thing, that this recording device that just records each of you and immediately interprets what each other is saying. And it's an AI device that you can already buy. Like if you can get it at Amazon here in our country. I don't know. You guys have what do they have out there comparable to Amazon? Is it
Like,
Timu?
it'd probably be, yeah, Alibaba. I think you can get. I mean, I don't really
Alibaba,
order
yeah.
online. Alibaba, a lot of the Chinese sort of equivalents to Amazon. I don't think Amazon's available here. I think Spotify and Netflix have just become available in Cambodia,
Oh
but
wow.
not
Okay.
not Amazon so far.
All
But
right.
yeah, on that, it is interesting. I use AI a lot, obviously, in my work now, as everybody should. And the one barrier is Cambodia is such a niche language, if you like, that it's not on many of the chat GPTs or your bards or anything like that. So having a device which would, translate Khmer to English would be very helpful, actually, at some
Yeah, yeah,
points,
yeah.
especially
Well,
for
it's
me.
if it's not available now, it'll be soon.
Definitely.
All right, well, let's jump into. So, Thomas, tell us a little bit about what you know about visa requirements for people that are interested in living in Cambodia, especially Phnom Penh, this beautiful capital that you live in. What are the visa requirements for people over there?
So start with a tourist visa, or a T visa as it's known. During COVID, you had to apply for it prior to departure, but you can actually just arrive at the airport and buy it at the airport now.
Okay.
It costs $30, as far as I know. That might have increased, but not by much. Um, And yeah, that gives you a 30-day stay in Cambodia to travel around. One of the new rulings is that you can't now update or not update, extend that into a business visa, which would allow you to work. So prior to entry into the country, you need to, if you are coming on a tourist visa, you do need to, know that you're going to stay the 30 days and then you will need to leave and come back to renew that tourist visa. Whereas if you come and you want to be on a business visa, do it from the start. You can't now convert a tourist visa to a business visa. And a business visa for 6 months is, if you could speak perfect Khmer and go to the immigration office and there was absolutely no issues, should be $200. Everybody else will save their own time and go through an agent, and that can be $250 to $300 for 6 months.
Okay.
And for a year, it will be around $400. And that's for a working visa. And finally, the other visa that I know about is the retirement visa, which, like the working visa, you will need to prove that you are retired, that you have a retirement income through the many, through the ways in which you prove that in your own country. And that can be bought for $285, I think it was. I only found that out the other day, but that's what I read up online. And yeah, that will need some documentation. And of course, with the working visa, the business visa, that will need some documentation to prove that you are working in Cambodia as well. So there's a few options there.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and I think that with the retirement visa, you just renew it every year. So they do charge close to like $300 per year, and that's all you need to do every year is just renew the visa. You can live there for as long as you'd like, I guess.
Yeah, same with the business visa as well. And although on the business visa, you will also need a work permit, and the work permit is around $200 per month.
Okay.
Have to be with a registered company, so you've got kind of a little bit extra tax on if you are working, but comparable to salary is okay.
Okay. All right. Well, let's jump into flat costs. Everybody's always interested in how affordable living in Phnom Penh will be. It looks like you can get a pretty nice place based on what I'm seeing behind you, man. What is that? A 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom studio?
It's a 1-bedroom, kitchen, and the front room area is attached to the kitchen, which is just on my left, your right, and the bedroom is through there. Ensuite bathroom and balcony. And this apartment building's been open for 1 year, so it's 1 year old. So everything inside is really new, yeah, brand new, pretty much. I think I'm the second tenant in this apartment, so super happy. I have benefited from the fact there's a big oversupply in the market of condos at the moment in Cambodia, so prices are being driven down along with sort of other, other factors such as tourism not fully recovering and people coming back not fully recovering since COVID. But generally, it's a great time to buy and rent in the market. Hence why I moved into this apartment 2 months ago.
What kind of amenities do you get with that apartment complex?
So I've got everything I could need. I have fridge, freezer,
like a pool. You got or
yeah. So I've got the sauna and steam room on the top floor, and also a gym area. It's not the biggest.
Nice.
And yeah, I think for about maybe $50 to $100 more, I could have got the pool on top, but I didn't opt for that. For that option.
So you got a gym and you got the sauna, steam room. What do you pay a month there for this 1-bedroom?
So I'm paying $450. This was actually reduced from $550.
Is that $450 USD or euro?
Yeah, US dollars.
US. Okay. You can live in a brand new place in the capital of Cambodia with some pretty cool amenities with views and everything for $450.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty good. And I mean, I'll pay depending on how much I use the aircon. I mean, like I say, everything is brand new in this building. So, you're actually saving money on the building I was living previously while things were older. But I will pay for, I'll pay, electricity, water, gas. I've got gas stoves in this one. On top of that, $80. So all in maybe $530 per month. Wi-Fi is included, and cleaning once a week is included as well in that. Which otherwise the internet would have cost you around $30 per month if you installed it, self-install for a company. So you're saving money on newer buildings with the newer appliances. You're saving money on included things like Wi-Fi and cleaning and things like that. So yeah, win-win.
Nice. So the utilities are water, electric, and that is 80 a month.
Yeah, so water is cheap as chips. I mean, $5 a month
Okay.
for water. Your electric will be your main costs. I pay around 60 to 70 in this new building.
Okay.
It is January at the moment, so obviously the aircon's not on as much because it's technically winter, if you could even call Cambodia ever say Cambodia is in winter. And then gas on top will be $5, depending on how much you use is $5 to $10 for a refill of the big canisters that they bring around.
All right. So that means, I mean, if you're not going to buy or if you're not going to rent a brand new condo, if you go with maybe a 2-year-old condo, which yeah, or 3-year-old, or even 5-year-old, 10-year-old condo, I mean, what are the rates going for? I mean, can you get like a stellar place there in Phnom Penh for like 200, 250?
You could get, I mean, the range is absolutely insane in Cambodia because, I mean, you can go from a scale of $200 per month for a studio apartment, which will still be 1 bedroom, still have a kitchen, and some kind of sofa, TV area for $200. In some areas of Phnom Penh, the outskirts areas like Bung Trebek or Tultumpong, kind of, which are quite popular with expats. Then the nearer you get to the city, I think I said about last time, there's BKK 1, 2, and 3, and they kind of stretch further and further away, the higher the number from the city centre, with BKK 1 being the most expensive and going further down. And I live in BKK 3, which is 5 minutes drive from BKK 1. So you're by no means, cast on the outskirts, and you're looking at $200-300 cheaper for the same condo. But if you were to
Wow.
get a 2-year older one, maybe than this, you would knock $100 off easily. If you didn't have the steam room and sauna, you can knock $100 off. There is just such scale here. And that's
Wow.
why I always recommend to people who do move over, move over and get a 6-month contract in somewhere that's $200 a month. Find out what you like, find out the rate that you want to live at, and then, bump yourself up to where you feel comfortable, as you start working and work out your budget and things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Great advice, man. So then if you do move a little bit further out, how do people get around? How do they move into the city, outside of the city? Is there a metro there, or are they primarily relying on rideshare and tuk-tuks?
I would honestly say 90% tuk-tuks. There's
Okay.
no metro. There is a bus service. Not even the locals use the bus service. Tuk-tuks are so cheap, and
Hmm.
tuk-tuks just have the flexibility to go anywhere you want from point A to point B. So, ride-hailing apps like Tada and Grab just dominate, and Pass app dominate the market. And you're looking for me to get to BKK 1, for instance, 5 minutes down the road, 75 cents, if that,
On a
less,
tuk-tuk.
yeah, on a tuk-tuk. If I was to
Wow.
go to Riverside, which is maybe a 15-minute drive, just short of $2 maybe. I play football sometimes on the outskirts. Maximum I've ever paid in a tuk-tuk was probably $5. And I think that was coming back from the airport, and they add a bit extra on if you come from the airport because they know you might not be as wise as people who've been here a few times, But yeah, it's just so cheap to get around. And
You know,
I was back in England a couple of months ago, and the fact that I had to wait 30 minutes for a tax for an Uber, which cost me £25 to get into the city centre. I was just like, bring tuk-tuks to England. What's going on anyway? Yeah.
you know where your brilliance is though, Thomas, is like there's so many people, and it's absolutely true. And it's like there is, like, back in the day when I was younger, in the US, things were cheap. for everybody. Anybody could go out at 18, 19, 20 years old, leave their home, you know, bartend or wait tables and make a living. You could
Mhm.
make a living and you could have your own apartment. You can't do that anymore in the UK. You
Yeah.
can't do that anymore in the US. So kids stay at they live with their parents much longer, and you got to have a really good gig that pays well to be able to move out. And
Mhm.
the thing about choosing to live in Southeast Asia and picking Cambodia is there's a level of freedom where you can just have your own place, you know, create your own world. But what I see is that young people going out to places like Cambodia, you guys are having fun because there's a level of freedom you can have by
Mhm.
just the nature of the cost of living.
Yeah.
You know, you can have a great apartment starting at $200 a month, and you can do things. I mean, people could go out there, and if you're lucky enough to be born in the US or UK, you could teach English. They'll
Mhm.
scoop you up in a second. And you could still live in a nice apartment like you have and teach, and you don't even need a teaching degree. That's what a lot of people don't think about,
Yeah.
you know? And like you say, getting around is, I mean, how much do you pay, you think, a month on transportation, getting around? I mean, if it costs you 75 cents for tuk-tuks and $2 for 15-minute rides, I mean, do you spend 20, $30 a month?
Well, I have a motorbike, so I probably spend even less than that. I have
Gotcha.
a 250 Honda 250 cc, and I will put maybe it's quite a big tank to be fair, so I'll put maybe $12 to $15 in if it's empty,
Yeah.
and I can ride that for a full month. I
Okay.
only obviously get tuk-tuks if you're going out to the bar or you're going out to eat, you know, having a drink or whatever.
Yeah.
So my, you know, your $15 plus maybe 15 to 20 off the top of my head in Grab in tuk-tuks is so cheap. It is so
Yeah.
cheap, and just like you say, not only is it kind of that freedom, it's a weight off your mind to know that like you know, can I afford to go out tonight? Can you know,
Yeah.
can I afford to go to this place or whatever? And you know, if you just it's so cheap, and it's so nice to have those options and that ability to be able to go out. Like I say, when I was in England, I saw my friends the first weekend I got back, and then I didn't see them for a month. They were like, "That's my night out for the month." You know,
Yeah.
I've got to pay this and that because you can't. You know, you're spending £150 just to go on a night out. Here in Cambodia, you can do it for $20 and
Yeah.
have change. You know, if
Yeah.
you want.
Yeah. Do you have friends in the UK that are still there that are just like overwhelmed with the grind? They're stuck in the grind and they're working, living paycheck to paycheck and got a budget, like you said, even to go out for a good, you know, night out with their buddies. You got to
Yeah.
budget that because it's so expensive. Do you have friends like that?
Yeah, yeah, and you know, there's some lads who are saying, you know, like halfway through the night, you know, I've spent I'm going home. I've spent my budget, you know, I've spent my, you know, and it's just like what, you know, in Cambodia, the bar doesn't shut, and without giving too much away, the bar doesn't shut until you go home, really, because you
Yeah.
know, there's no licenses and you know, closing hours and things like that, and you know, you're only going to spend another $20 if you stay for another 4 hours. You know what I mean? So
Right.
there's just that freedom and that relaxation to life. It's great. I love it. Honestly, I absolutely love it.
How much is like a beer and a drink in like pubs and places around
So
Phnom
again,
Penh?
you've got the huge range. I mean, you've got your sort of local places which you could get. They'll give you a can. It won't even be draft. It'll be like, you know, the 300 ml cans. I think you have them in the US. We don't really
Yeah.
have them in the UK.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have 440 mils. But you can get the 300, 330 ml cans for like 75 cent or 50 cent. Draft beer will start at $1 maybe in most places. Happy hour.
What is everybody waiting for, man? We need to Thomas, we gotta come, man. We
Don't
gotta get
all
out
come at
there.
once. I don't want the secret out.
No, well, you know, the truth be told, I mean, most people that it's that this is the biggest thing about where you live is that most people in the West are going, it's just too far. I want to
Yeah.
be closer to home. So a lot of people dream about it, a lot of people think about it, but yet you're so far away, and that's the biggest criticism. I'm so far away from my family. So very few people do it.
I think, well, this is kind of, my thinking with CambodiaLifestyle.com as well. It's like, you really have to suit a place that you travel to. And if you do move so far away, it's so important to weigh up what that will mean. And so for me, I've always been somebody who doesn't have one core like friendship group. I have lots of different friends, I have different circles, different friends for different reasons. And I think that you need that in Cambodia, because you're not going to land and find 10 solid people that you went to school with all in the same place, that you have those bonds and cultural, shared cultures with. You need to be someone that's open, that's adaptable, that is,
You do.
able to, so yeah, I think that it's just worth saying that, it is a big step. And
It
look,
is.
Cambodia's not going anywhere. Get a tourist visa, do 30 days, see how you feel, and then you can always come back and get a business visa, just
Right.
just try it,
And
definitely.
that's the other big thing. Like a lot of expats, they move and then they have this expectation, like, I want it to be. It's not like the UK. It's not
Mhm.
like the US. It's slower, or there's a more of a slow bureaucracy, or is it stuck in a time warp? And there's these expectations that just can't be met. And then expats stay for a little while and then they go because they just can't adjust to the differences of the culture. And that's, you got to be very open to adjust to the nuances and the differences of these cultures for sure. How much does a Cambodia dinner cost, like at a local restaurant? What can you get a nice dinner for?
So there's a place near me that you can get sekmuan bai cha, which is fried rice and chicken, for $1.75, I think it is, and it's as much as you can eat. It's not, there's not a portion. They bring a rice, they cook the rice in a huge vat at the start of the day, and it's just perfect all the way
Mm.
through. And they'll just give you scoops and scoops of that with obviously your portion of chicken sauce. And then there's condiments on the table, chilies and soy sauce. You can really make the dish your own, and that's like 175, for a local dish. And I thought, I was always worried about the hygiene levels of the food, but I've been sick as much as I think I would have been in the UK from ordering food at some point than I have been here,
Hmm.
which wasn't the case. I lived in India for 6 months, and that was tough on the stomach.
Yeah.
But this is really good food, and for 175, you really can't argue. It's
Mm.
yeah, so 175, short
So what do
answer.
you think you budget per month for eating out?
Honestly, I know I should know the answer to this question, but the
How,
beauty of it is if I yeah, so
how many times a week do you eat out? Do you eat out every night, every day, do you think? Or
so
have
I'll
lunch?
I'll order Nam 24, which is sort of your Uber Eats if you're in the US, maybe every day at work, which will be like $5 for. There's this amazing Turkish restaurant here that does like a shish kebab, which is like 5 pieces of big chicken, bread, salads, $5 delivered
Mm.
to my work, which is amazing. For breakfast, I have muesli. Nobody eats muesli in Cambodia, so it's always on discount,
Hmm.
which is fantastic. And so yeah, with milk costs me $1.50, which obviously lasts kind of your week.
Hmm.
Muesli costs $5, which is like 2 weeks worth of muesli. Um, groceries, if I do cook, I'll spend $5 to $10 a time cooking. Maybe that'll be a meal and some left over for the next day. But
Hmm.
really, because the price of ordering food is so low, I don't mind spending $5 to $10 ordering, amazing cuisines from around the world. You have Mexican here, Greek, Turkish, as I say, Indian,
Yeah.
some really good restaurants, and it's $5 to $10. It's cheap if you're earning enough. It's nice to not have to worry about or how I have to eat pasta and butter tonight.
Hmm. So $1.75 to $5, $6. It's unreal.
Delivered, yeah. But I mean, again, like as I say, the rate, this is Phnom Penh. If you're in Siem Reap, that's cheaper still. And if you're out in the provinces, it can be cheaper depending on what you order. You can always get a packet of noodles for like 20 cent or 50, 10 cent or something insane.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario. But then, you do have you have the world-class cuisine here and five-star hotels and everything like that. The sky is the limit as far as apartments, as far as food, as far as transport. On the transport thing, you can get taxis if you want. You can get, or rental vehicles on the higher end of the budget, but I'd always say, I'd always want to know what the floor is before I know, how high I can go, basically. So that's why I'm starting with those figures.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So tell us what you do for healthcare out there. And is it affordable? Are there health insurance programs? I mean, you're a young guy, so do you even have insurance?
I have health insurance. I pay $80 per month.
Okay.
That's reduced from when I first came because I've obviously had it for over a year. I think it was kind of a discount they offered to renew. I have had periods when I've been over here where I haven't used it. I definitely wouldn't recommend that. Where I haven't had, health insurance, because it can seem like a waste, especially when you first come. And I'm not sure if COVID made it more expensive, but it could go up to sort of 150 per month, which is quite a lot for some people. Comparatively over here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm down to $80. I have never had anything, touch wood, bad happen to me in Cambodia. I cut my foot one day. Well, that was something bad that happened to me, actually. I was staying at a hostel and I put a really cheap hostel just because I was staying there for one night. It was $8 a night, and I put my shampoo bottle down on the sink unit, and the sink unit actually fell off the wall and sliced open my foot, which was pretty horrendous, actually, thinking back on it. But I went to the hospital and got it stitched on the spot, was seen straight away, and it cost $30. So although I'd say get health insurance for major things like that, I don't think that you're going to be. I mean, always get it. I'm not advocating for not getting it. Car crashes are, there is car crashes over here. There's, that you can be victim of, but healthcare is cheap and healthcare is good quality as far as I've experienced as well. Places like Phnom Penh Royal Hospital is really good. The newly finished Carmet Hospital is really good. And as with Phnom Penh being small, they're easiest to get to, if you are in an emergency. So yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
$80 per month.
Yeah, my son, he cut his lip. I mean, it was a few years ago and needed stitches, and we took him in. And I believe that, they just put a couple stitches in, and I believe it was around $1,000
Oh, okay, right.
for that. So so $30 to get stitched up in out of pocket in Cambodia. How did you feel the healthcare was, the quality?
Yeah, I mean, I was under no general anesthetic, so it was pretty painful, obviously, at the time.
Yeah.
But I was seeing straight away the hospital was clean. All of the look of I mean, obviously, I'm not an expert, but all of the look of a hospital, masks, rubber gloves, everything was sanitized, etc. I thought it was a really good service, and the doctor could speak perfect English, which was really reassuring.
Mhm.
So my experiences have been that it's really good
What
in
town was
Cambodia.
that in?
That was in Phnom Penh. Yeah.
Phnom Penh. Okay. All right, cool. All right, so you're in this next phase, man. You're getting older, dude. As you're probably exploring some real estate options. What do they start at? What do condos and real estate start at around Phnom Penh?
It's actually my birthday on Wednesday.
Ooh.
So I'll be 35. So yeah, I am getting on. But yeah, anyway, condos, I think inside the city center, again, you're gonna have this huge range, but maybe $3,000 US dollars per square foot in the city center. Again, that depends on the quality of the apartment. It
Per
depends on
square
how.
meter, right? 3,000
Yeah.
per square meter. So are you thinking about purchasing? If so, you're going to stay in Phnom Penh or?
Yeah, I'd like to. I think I have to be in Phnom Penh for obviously the businesses, be in touch with the community. I'm also joining the British Chamber of Commerce over here as well, so I want to be involved in their events. And I also run my monthly Internations events in Cambodia as well. If anyone knows Internations, then feel free to message me if you're in Cambodia and join our groups. It's for any expat and local professional who wants to network. So yeah, my place is definitely being in Phnom Penh and being involved, tightly with the community here. As far as investing in an apartment, I'm happy to pay the rent that I pay at the moment in my apartment and keep the larger amount of my savings in the bank because of the great interest rates over here. You can get 8% interest rates in some banks in Cambodia, and you're not going to get that back in an apartment's appreciation. So I keep my money in the bank essentially. Do I see opportunities in the future? If I was to buy, I would probably buy land because that appreciates a lot more in different areas outside of Phnom Penh. There's so much infrastructure being built at the moment. The smart thing to do is buy land around there, and as that builds up, you're going to see a real appreciation in land prices, and 4 or 5 of those investments probably will be a lot better. And renting an apartment, if you do rent an apartment, which does happen in some condos which become dilapidated within a couple of years, they're not filled, so they start being left to rot essentially. People have lost money by thinking that they can buy and rent those out or buy to live there. So rent really just removes any risk for me at this point in my life. So that would be my personal kind of take on investing in apartments.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's everything, man. Is there anything else you can think of that we didn't discuss that could be helpful to the viewers? Or
so a big part of my life is sports, actually. So I'm involved in a badminton group now. I'm involved in a squash group. I joined a football team, 2 football teams actually that I play for in Phnom Penh. And yeah, I think this is the most active I've ever been in my life because it's really great to meet people. There's really tight expat communities that revolve around football teams and people knowing each other. There's I think in the news recently in the BBC, BBC covered it anyway. There's an Irish hurling team and a curling team, which is with the bats. You hit, and they've set that up over here. And then now there's this huge Khmer uptake of Irish hurling. It's on the BBC anyway, and they actually brought a Cambodian team for the first time ever to Ireland. And I just really like how sports can unite people in that way, and it's a real sharing of cultures. So I'd say if you were to talk about budgeting into your lifestyle, I play football during the week we pay like $3 each, and that books the whole pitch for the hour or hour and a half that we play. Badminton you can book a court in badminton for $12 per hour. So, with 4 people, that works out $3 each. You can buy the sports shops here. You can buy football boots for $40. You can buy badminton rackets for $10, $20. I've just been on a holiday to Koh Kong, which is an island on the east coast, and I went fishing for the first time. It was fantastic. Came back, bought a fishing rod straight away, and that was $10. I managed to buy a fishing rod for, and the bait, and all of the other stuff that I'm not even sure how to work it, but I will learn. So, sports and being active and that's a big part of my life. So I think, it might be interesting for people to know about that. Sports and leisure. And the other thing I would say is clothing. Clothing's super cheap as well over here. You can go to Russian Market, which is 5 minutes down the road for me. You can buy a t-shirt for $5. It'd be this season's Manchester United jersey, football jersey, which would cost you £85 in England. It's fake, obviously, but it's $5 in Cambodia. You couldn't tell the difference.
yeah.
And yeah, jeans, shirts for work, you can buy for $10, $15. These are just things that just bring down your outgoing expenses so much, living in Cambodia. And again, you've got that range. If you want to buy a tailor-made suit, you can do, and you can spend money for it. Or you can live in $5 Manchester United jerseys, as I frequently might be seen doing. So yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great. That's great. Well, Thomas Starkey, man, thanks so much for doing this again, buddy. It's great to see you. I'm glad everything is going well for you out there. We're going to promote your websites and all of the things you're involved in. But thanks for doing this again, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, no worries. CIR Recruitment is the recruitment. We offer jobs in multiple ranges, middle to upper level management. We specialize in, so jobs over 1.5K salary and above. That's a great salary to start on in Cambodia. And any visa questions you have, so let us know. And then if you want to know as equally as I think is important about lifestyle, CambodiaLifestyle.com will be launching next month, and happy to chat there. And yeah, thanks for having me. It's always fantastic to catch up. And yeah, next time I might have an apartment with a swimming pool on the roof. Who knows?
Well, we'll do it again soon, buddy. Great to see you, and have a great rest of the evening. I know it's late there. What is it, about 11 o'clock?
10 to 11, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll see
so
what
it's your bedtime, buddy.
it is. I'm pretty tired now, but yeah, I'm always happy to chat.
All right, man. Well, have a great evening, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, cheers.